peeps? Mr.Bones back at you, and it is once again Wild Eye Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about Grave of the Living Dead. This is a anthology type deal with lots of little short stories directed by different directors, writers. Unearthed from hell for your pleasure. Multiply your taste for terror with this collection of 7 blood-soaked tales from beyond the grave. Features short horrors from directors Pat Kuznati, Dustin Ferguson, and more. It says names in there, and then names a bunch of shit they did. Pat Kuznati, Paranormal Attraction, Harvest, Alien Planet, Sam Mason Bell, Gore Theater, Creepypasta, the movie, Hacked, Dustin Ferguson, Ebola Rex, Amityville Clown House, and more. For fans of Creepshow, Tales from the Crypt, VHS, ABCs of Death, and Trick or Treat. I definitely saw ABCs of Death because it seemed really long to me. The other two, a couple of the other guys from the horror community said that they were short and quick. But the movie as a whole just seemed a little longer than it needed to be. But in the end, I didn't mind it. It was an okay movie, an okay anthology. I favored a couple of the stories more than the others. Which is like the third one and the last one. The first one was called What We Leave Behind. These couple of sisters are supposed to meet at their parents' place after they have passed. And one of them shows up, but the other one never does. And then the one goes to bed and thinks she hears a voice and thinks it's her sister down in the basement. But it's not. The second one, Crawling Chaos, is on Christmas Eve. It's a guy in an apartment. He's sort of unstable, and he's on the phone with his mom, says he's not been taking his meds because he wants to enjoy Christmas. And he gets a visitor, an unwanted visitor, that's like crawling across the floor, and that's all I'll say. Demonic Attachment is the next one. A disturbed girl named Jennifer, who I think is played by Jennifer Nangle, who is also Malvoria. She has a character, Malvoria, like Elvira. And she has a demonic attachment, which kind of reminds me of the movie Shudder with Pacey in it. She has like a demonic force attached to her. But she wakes up with scratches on her back all the time, and she always feels drugged down and tired, and she gets all these calls from doctors saying she's perfectly healthy and that she should get in contact with a therapist and try that out. And so when she explains all the stuff to the therapist, she's like, I think you may have a demonic attachment, and comes back the next day with 2 other women, and they do this really cool ritual to try to detach the demonic attachment and say all these cool chants. This is my favorite of all the stories. The next one is Stiffed, about a waitress who kidnaps this guy who him and his wife stiffed her of a tip, and pretty much she knocks him out with a metal ball bat, has him tied to a table, and tortures him. And the next one is Invocation. It's a chick invoking the devil or something, and that's pretty much all there is to that. She's knelt down on the floor saying all kinds of devil shit and rubbing blood all over her. And then the next one is Deadly Doll. A woman gets a random package with no return address, and just assumes it's from her mom, and she talks to her on the phone. She says, I haven't sent you anything, and it's a creepy doll that keeps running around a house causing havoc. It's kind of similar to, it puts you in mind of like a full moon, you know, creepy possessed doll doing shit. And then the last one, Salt and Iron, is a drunk fisherman on the riverbank alongside of a river fishing and sees a chick walk up to him. You can see up her dress. The actresses in this segment, aren't very shy of showing, as Josh Hobbs calls, their Brillo pad. You can see up her dress, and she runs off and lures him to a bunch more of pretty much their sirens, succubus or whatever. And they shove him to the floor, and like the lead siren comes over and takes their clothes off, and you can see she has some Brillo pad as well, and just helps herself, sits down on top of him, starts humping, and when he tries to get up, she slashes his throat with her nails. And a bunch more of them come out, and they drag his body out to the river and have a feast. And this was a pretty decent little anthology. I favored some of the segments more over than the others, which is to be expected with anthologies. My favorites were the third one and the last one, Demonic Attachment and Salt and Iron. The one with Jennifer Nangle with the unwanted friend attached to her, and the last one with the sirens. And yeah, I'd recommend you check it out. That's what I watched. Peace.